What's going on, everyone? Slovosh here. Wanted to bring you guys my latest update for Elektra. I have a finalized build that I'm using on her, and this is to follow up with my Let's Play 1 to 60 with Elektra. I was kind of developing a build for her as I was leveling her up, and took quite a bit of time actually, but now that I've passed the Cosmic Trial, got all of our skill points and everything like that, I'm doing Cosmic Midtown, Cosmic Hightown, Cosmic Terminals, one-shots, basically all the good stuff for endgame content. Haven't tried raiding with her yet, but I can imagine I have pretty good success with this build. So I wanted to share that build with you guys quickly. I don't want to make this video run on too long, but the game plan, just a rundown, is to go over the skills, go over the synergies, the omegas, the gear, and then I want to go over basically how I play her, and I will do that as I'm doing a one-shot red, or not red axis, but one-shot axis where you kill Red Skull, because I want to highlight some of her key aspects as to why she's actually one of my favorite characters right now in the game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. I will explain the synergies and everything like that in a little bit. I want to do a rundown of all the skills and where I put the points. For those of you who like to see the build as a numbers thing, just go ahead and pause the video right now. I'll keep everything off of it. You can see my point layout. For those of you who want to keep listening, just go ahead and keep listening, because I will do a breakdown starting from the left going to the right. Staff and size, I got 20 points into Death Blossom, 20 points into Shadow Strike, 20 points into Deadliest Assassins, of all assassins. Not even the stars, 20 points. Usually that's a given for a signature. I got 20 points in Behind You. I got 20 points into Slip into the Shadows, which falls under Ninja Weaponry. I got 20 points into Cut a Swath. Then going over the Hand Ninja Tree, I have 20 points in Marked for Death. I got 8 points into Hyper Awareness, and basically this is the point dump. So after you get everything else, either 1-point wonders or 20 level skills, basically this is where you're putting all the rest of the points. So with Mystic Mayhem accomplished, all of the story mode plus the skills, and Chapter 10 plus the skills, you basically end up with 8 points left in my build for her defensive passive, and 1 point in At My Bidding with the Mystic of the Chaste specialization. Now I will go over the skills and how I kind of decided to use them, kind of thing, and I'll do that by going down my skill bar here. I'm using Deadliest of All Assassins as my left click. That's this skill right here, mainly for the reason that it is really good against marked targets. It has a higher crit percent chance, has more crit and brute damage, so this is really good for single target spending. This is what I use all the time. I'll click lock a boss and just let this swipe on them as I'm doing the other skills in between, just kind of like weave them in. So this is my kind of my single target / left click move. Going to my A button, that's my dash. Flow like water. I can't stress this enough, guys. I really think that this might be one of the best movement mechanics in the game. I mean, besides it being called a teleport, I think this really is one of the best movements in the game, and it's basically free, so it puts her right on par with Deadpool's movement abilities. You can spam it, goes through walls. When you come out of it with her passive, the Slip into the Shadows, you get a stealth when you come out of it for 1.5 seconds. So basically you're dashing at teleport speed, teleport distance almost. It does damage as it passes through guys, and when you come out you're stealth, so you don't take any damage right away, so you have a little bit of time to set up your game plan. So I think her dash is excellent, maybe on par with some of the best in the game. As her next button, and if you haven't noticed this about my build, guys, or builds I should say, I like to do my skills in the order from left to right. So I'll usually dash in, and then the first move I'll do when I'm stealth is the Blossom of Death on a guy. That will mark him and do the dot damage to him. So this is your only skill that adds bleed to my awareness. think, yes, it is your only bleed move. So if you're going to use a furry main, you have to use this skill. This is also a great dot layer, so I will apply this all over the place. This is spammable, has no cooldown, so you can basically jump around with this a couple times, do a big whack on the initial hit, and then it'll tick away damage-wise. So this is a great skill for that. I will lead off with this once I'm stealth, and then because I'm coming out of stealth with this hit, it will mark that person. And the reason that I'm able to mark people out of stealth is because of the Slip in the Shadows passive. This will probably be on anyone's build that's making an Elektra build. This is, I would say, the preferred way to mark targets rather than using the actual skill Mark for Death. The only reason I would see anyone using this skill ever is because they don't want to break stealth. That's about the only benefit. It seems slower. It's got charges. With this passive and her dash basically becoming a stealth every time you use it, any hit you use on any guy will become a marked target. So this move is your leader. Next thing you want to do is do a Shadow Strike. Since your guy that you're just hitting is now marked, when you do a Crash Down ability, this is an AoE. Has a decent range. Let me show you. I think it doesn't necessarily give you the ring of it, but if you click, you can see just about how big it is, about that big. So anyone in that range, which is immediate melee vicinity, I would say they will also get a mark applied to them. So it basically spreads the mark from one guy to anyone that was hit by this move. With my gear and everything, and Omegas and everything like that, this move usually hits pretty damn hard. This will clear a lot of trash out of the way right away. I would say with it all synergized up, this maybe hits for 1.1, 1.2 million per hit kind of thing, and it recharges every 4 seconds. So this is a good crash down. The other cool thing about this skill is that it will actually go to where you click. You can see how I just teleported from that rose petal pile to that one just by using this skill. So it goes to where you click. It's good to know. The Blossom of Death, it also will go to where you click. It has a limited distance though, but it's a decent AoE. You can see the size of the circle there. So that's fairly big. I think it hits anyone within that circle, and will apply the dot to them. So again, guys, the next in session will be the Shadow Strike. Let's see, going right down the line behind you. This is basically, this is my favorite move of hers, and I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite move. These two moves, the Throne Blade and the Behind You, are basically the same thing, except one counts as melee, one counts as ranged. And since this counts as movement, I chose to go this way, as well as it counting as melee, because I'm mainly focused on melee movement or area tags for this build, so this kind of falls under most of the tags I'm looking for under skills. Behind You, this is my F slot. This is a 8-second cooldown skill. Basically, anyone that's marked, and all you have to do to mark someone is do a dash and then like poke them with any move. They'll get the little like red size above their head. Once they are marked, this move will be active and you can actually use it. Basically, this will instantly destroy any non-boss enemies. So that means any guy, regardless of how big his health pool is, if he doesn't have the tag of boss or mini boss under his like name when you hover over it like that, where it says Danielle Moonstar up there, I don't know if you can see that or not, it would say like mini boss and then like all their affixes and everything. If it doesn't say boss or mini boss, you can kill them in one shot. And I was hesitant to make this video because I thought maybe it'd be a glitch, but it seems like it's all over the forums anyway, so I'll bring it to you guys. This move alone will get you through the Cosmic Trial, I think. The Behind You, if you coupled this with like Pirate Deadpool or something, someone who can just freeze guys for a second, the 8-second cooldown on this means that you can one-shot the 3 Hulk Busters that come out on the first wave with Madam Hydra. You can pop one at a time, and since it cools down in 8 seconds, you could literally just dash around, invis, not taking any damage until it's recharged again. Dash in, poke a guy, and then hit the F button, and they disappear. So you can pop all the Sentinels in the Cosmic Trial in one shot, like one poke, regardless of their health. And you can pop any of the Hulk Busters on the first wave with one shot, no questions asked. Any of the bodyguards, you can kill in one poke. So it basically makes all the shielding and everything for the bosses like pretty much irrelevant. They just go right back to being able to be targeted by things again. So basically whenever there's that really annoying guy, and this probably will work in Cosmic danger rooms, I would imagine. Maybe if those big orange dudes that have just like billions and billions of health, if they don't have that boss tag above them, I'm pretty sure you can kill them in one hit. So anyone who doesn't have a mini boss or boss tag below their name, they're going to die in one shot. But if they do have a boss or mini boss tag, it basically works as an execute mechanic with just a ton of physical damage applied to it. So it does 75 to 113, blah, 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 blah. It hits really, really hard, especially when the boss is below 50% health. I've seen this thing go for 3 to 5 million per poke, and it's on an 8-second cooldown. Only stipulation is the guy has to be marked. So this is probably one of my favorite moves. I keep that as the F key. That's basically my removal button if the guy's not a boss. So that's like my favorite thing about her whole loadout, I believe. Now this is where my build starts to get different from other people. The slip into the shadows skill, I've seen people put a 1 point in here for the basic passive effects of like marking a guy when you go stealth, or flow like water becomes stealth whenever you use it, kind of thing. Obviously those are amazing passives, you want those, but that's where people would stop putting points into this. I think that you should max this because this can be used as a steroid. This is a very good utility skill. Not only does this make you invisible for 5 seconds, it gives you huge crit and brute damage rating buffs. It gives you 50% less damage taken. So if you're like in a really hot situation and you're trying to face tank like a boss or something like that, like in Midtown, I've survived the jumps from Man-Ape just by having this active at the same time. I'll also use this steroid buff and just do my normal boss killer, the deadliest of all assassins attack. I'll activate this before I do something like my signature just to get some more crit and brute damage rating. If you activate slip into the shadows before you do your ultimate, it really, really increases the damage. So I'd highly recommend saving this for some of your bigger damaging moves and pop it right beforehand. Or if you really need to like become a tank, you just activate this. So it has like a dual purpose rating. The damage versus enemies not targeting you, that obviously goes into effect because you become invisible, so the guy can't see you, he won't be targeting you. You get that extra damage bonus on top of being able to tank a lot better. So this skill is incredibly good all around. If it's up, you should probably activate it. Obviously, time it with some of your bigger hitting skills like your signature or your ultimate. Or what I like to do if I'm just clearing trash is activate this and then use my cut a swath move. Basically, cut a swath is my main trash clear. You just hold down the right mouse button, and you can pretty much do this endlessly. You can see her stamina kind of ticking down, but it just regens so fast. You can do this endlessly. This hits 4 times a second, just does a ton of damage. And then what I like to do, guys, when I'm actually using this, like in Midtown or something like that, is I will be holding it down, and then I'll teleport to an area. And keep doing that kind of thing right there. Teleport. Have it being held down. It's very simplistic, easy to use. You can move while you're using this kill a swath kind of thing. You can see how big the AoE is around her. If a boss or someone's chasing you, you can kind of dance around them and let the like range hit them and stay away from their melee attacks. I do that a lot to stay in a zone where I'm actually hitting for life on hit kind of thing, but still doing damage. Or if I'm picking up orbs or something like that, I'll be doing that. So anyways, cut a swath is my main trash clear / spirit spender, I would say. This is excellent. Also, when you're doing this dashing move in between the cut a swath, every time you come out of stealth, just like this passive says, anytime you do the dash, you're going to be stealth. When you hit a guy, you're becoming unstealth, and therefore they become marked. So every time you're doing this dash and doing the cut a swath, pretty much every guy that gets touched by it when you come out of it gets marked. So that's a great way to mob, like mark kind of guys. Just like if you want to hit a bunch of guys like that and just dance around, it will mark a ton of guys. And when you hit marked guys at this, it gets 50% more damage. So it's incredibly good to use in that kind of sense. So that's why I have my loadout the way it is. Moving right along, guys. You know how I feel about her movement. Marked for death. This is definitely a passive in my eyes. I don't have this on my main skill bar. I think it's on my second bar, just in case I want to use it, but I don't ever use it to activate it, just because I use her dash and a poke or something to mark guys. But This is basically your damage buff for everything, so this is just all around good for that, and it does the marking, so you get a lot of extra damage through vulnerability and stuff like that, and that's what all your skills play off of. So this is an absolute max. This will probably be max in every build that you see of Elektras. And moving on, Hyper Awareness. This is her passive. This gives you regen if you're defeated. This gives you health on hit, dodge, deflect, all that good stuff. She's dodge, deflect hero, as we were talking about in the other video. This is also your crowd control if you're into activating crowd controls. I typically don't, but I'll still throw it on my second bar, as you can see, in case I get like some crazy crowd control, like Gorgons, like Stone Ray or whatever. Maybe that's where I'd activate it, or if I get hit by like some of those ice moves that freeze you for a while, because that can become pretty dangerous. But outside of those two situations, I don't really see a point in activating this, because you'll probably hop out of it anyways through tenacity. So this is just my point dump. I'm letting my skill or my gear level this up even higher. It gives you some passive damage reductions and things like that, so deflect. This helps with your survivability a lot. Some could argue that maybe this should be maxed and you put less points into moves like this, which kind of scale, kind of don't scale. I mean, you could put 1 point into this and it'd still destroy guys. So it's really up to you. This is how I allotted to do it, because you do run into a lot of bosses, and this does a lot of damage at level 20. So keep that in mind. And then this is actually one of my favorite parts of this build. At my bidding, this is kind of a really weird build. I didn't see this happening for her. This was like, when I was leveling her up, this is really surprising. The way this works is if you have a guy on the screen that's marked, so say you dash, poke someone, the only time you can activate this move, and I keep it on my second bar because it's kind of like a summon, but it's like kind of permanent. I've seen them go in and out of town with you and everything else. This is, you basically just have to have a marked guy near you, and then this skill will light up. See how it's kind of grayed out right now? Once it's lit up, you can activate this, and it will summon a chase ninja or mystic, or anyone on the screen will just take damage kind of thing. So I chose to do the mystic of the chase because, as you can see, it summons one mystic chased ninja. He can tank for you. He does a little bit of like range damage. I mean, literally almost none at all, but that's not really why he's out there. The main reason I have him out there is because of that last little line there where it says regenerate 25% of your maximum health with a 4-second cooldown. This dude sticks to you like fucking glue. You teleport as fast as you want, do whatever you want. He will stick to you better than your team ups will, and he'll be right behind you. And if you're ever in a situation where you need some health, this dude will like stop everything he's doing to just like throw all of his healing on you. And he'll give you 25% of your maximum health. And that's almost as good as, you know, having a core with 25% max health on medkit. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is only a 1-point wonder, so I mean, his healing, it's strictly utility. I don't really count on him for like much of anything, but it's really nice when you're in those situations where you're invulnerable, or you're doing the dance around a boss with this move, and that guy just pops you for like 25% of your max health and just heals you up. So he saved my ass more times than I'd care to admit, but it's really good, and I think that he is superior to the two warriors that come out with this, because these guys do damage, yes, but it's not that much damage, and I feel like the heal, for me at least, in in-game content is a little more prevalent, because I don't even use a team-up right now. I have a team-up on away power. So this guy just kind of chasing me around, and he'll show up on your mini-map as like a green dot, so you can tell if he's out or not. And I swear, he'll stay within this screen radius right now with you at all times. He just doesn't leave your side. And he can occupy a few people. He can tank, you know, some hits. He will die. He's not invincible. He only has 150% more of your health than you do. But anyways, you can resummon him anytime you're near a marked guy, but he'll stay out as long as he's alive, and he'll heal the shit out of you every 4 seconds. So that's why he's in my build. Moving right into the next segment, I'm going to do gear. Right now I'm just using all of Elektra's own uniques. I try to get ones with the challenge of fighting bonus on them, and also did my physical damage rating and or life rating. I still got to put life on this silk vestment, so let's go do that right now. Go to the crafter, and we'll go, wait, not crafter, enchanter. Go to enchant. Where is my cattle? There it is. So we'll drop that there, craft, boom, take all. There you go, 200 more health. So do that for every one of these 1, 2, and 3 slots. Slot 1 and 5, you increase 100 more physical damage just by putting a stone rune in them. So that's what you want to do for your gear there. I got all 69s just through the formulas. Still need a slot 4 with plus to fighting, but that's my end game kind of goal there with that one. And then I just rolled these to be about as high as I can get with the plus to skills because she's lacking a little bit. So obviously this isn't the greatest of my gear possible, but some of them are rolled nicely. Excuse me, that was a burp. Let's see. Moving right on to the ring. I really don't know if there is a better ring for her than the Midtown Guardian Signet because of the movement and the plus to melee. Basically all of these skills that we're using are tagged movement or melee. So you say melee movement, that's going to get +2. Melee movement, that's +2. Melee movement, that's +2. And this move does teleport to people and stab them in the back, which is kind of cool. Melee movement, melee area movement. So all these benefit from the Midtown Signet +2 to skills, so that's huge. Then also the buff, you'll see right here if I teleport, that little fist below her feet, that red thing. Basically, that means that I have the Midtown Momentum buff, which gives me 20% extra bonus damage for 5 seconds. And since you're basically dashing all the time to apply your marks, that 20% damage bonus is almost permanent. This goes up to 30% damage bonus. So if you have one of those rings, you're very, very lucky, and you should keep it forever. I might actually transfer the only one that I have over to her because I feel like she would use it the most. Okay, I just have a level 70 Gungnir on her right now. If I do end up going super end game with her, I would probably transfer this over to an Axe of Ares level 80 and get that leveled up to rank 5 just because it does a lot more for melee builds or physical builds. So that's what this is. This is just kind of the vanilla artifact I put on her when I wasn't really sure what she was going to end up like. But I like her a lot, so I might go end game with her. Relic of Atlantis, this is probably your only in-game DPS type relic that anyone's going to put on their guys, so I'm still working up a stack of 1,000. Uru, I am a huge advocate for defensive Urus. I feel like they're far superior than just getting another 200 damage rating for survivability reasons. So I put the Heartbreaker rune word into it just because I didn't want to do another God of Mischief because I was running kind of low on low-key runes and all that jazz. So Power Dupe or God of Mischief are probably really good here. I like the Heartbreaker a lot. It's pretty good for my damage output, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then for my gear, and obviously these aren't the best, but this is what I've put on her, and I've had really good success with it so far. Blessed with Hela, obviously on all these. This is the Flag of the Scroll Empire for the damage ratings of crit and brute, and then the 1 to fighting and the 1 to all skills. It's pretty solid. I got the melee demon blood with +2/+2 and some health. That health helps a lot actually. Madam Hydra medallion, just because the flat damage rating is pretty good and the invulnerability is pretty nice. I figured I might do like rating or something and it'd help my teammates out. This could be replaced with like a Red Skull or I could put, I mean, that's a shitty one. You want like a +2/+2, but you could do a Red Skull or whatever. You could do a Dr. Doom's medallion. You could do a Curse medallion even. They'd probably all be pretty good. Anything for physical or melee would work really well. Blessed Gem of the Curse. And then my final and last artifact that I'm a huge advocate for. And for anyone who's just starting this game, I really want to stress this to you. For 1 blessing, I'm not really sure you get much more bang for your buck. I think this is an excellent artifact. Tons and tons of survivability and utility in this, and for like areas like patrol zones, this is fucking beast mode. Advanced Circlet of Sidorak. They make a normal Circlet of Sidorak, and then this is the advanced version. Now, a lot of people overlook this, but you can see right there it has 626 physical damage on it, and that rolls to a max of 708 physical damage. I don't know that you can find that much physical damage on any other artifact. So flat physical damage, this is a beast. Gives crit hit rating, brutal strike rating, so that helps your chances of actually hitting both of those. You can re-roll this till it's better, but I got a decent roll, I guess, for the physical damage. That's where I stopped. +1 to durability, that'll help with your survivability a little bit. 5% chance to summon invulnerability orb. Basically, it's just like kind of a see-through reddish orb. Once you step on it, it puts like the Juggernaut red bubble around you and you're invincible for a couple seconds. That is a nice little surprise when you're running around in a zone. Can help out a ton with your survivability. Someone else can pick it up too, so that's also nice. And then also it still has the same effects as the normal circlet. So anytime you hit any orb, you gain 14 stamina, 60 health. And in a patrol zone, you know how many orbs are dropping everywhere. This thing just keeps you fucking maxed. So I love this for survivability and for damage output. This is like one of my favorite artifacts in the game. And with that being said, I'm going to step off my soapbox. Get yourself a fucking blessed advanced circlet of Sidorak for 1 blessing. 2 blessings, you can have this. I mean, 1 Gok is worth like 5 blessings right now. This is a huge discount for, you know, what it brings to the table, I think. And then just my normal pet. Let's see, I'm using the insignia of Elektra. This one was pretty lucky rolled. I got an attack speed and I got a crit damage rating. And then the Aurora works really well since I'm always using a power like the Whiplash. I'm just going to gain those passive bonuses all the time. I have crit damage rating on all of her grades. And then I have a Bifecta with fighting core on her. And then obviously the red rose petals because I was tired of hoarding them in my stash. So that's the build. That's the gear. Let's talk synergies. Some of these are up for debate, but this is what I'm running right now. I'm using Black Widow for the damage versus enemies not targeting me. Since I'm going stealth a bunch, I figured that would help. I have the Cyclops on for the experience gain because I'm still gaining Omegas. I have Elektra's own synergy on for the damage and the damage to bosses. Green Goblin, this is kind of interesting thought in my mind. She has a lot of area tags on her moves. So area, area, area. This gets 2.5% damage to all those skills, but then you also get 5% damage while moving. So this cut a swath, you're always moving with it. So I'm gaining 5% more damage just to cut a swath by having this active. So that was my thought behind it. Same thing goes with Human Torch for the area damage. Moon Knight is +2 to physical for physical power crit chance. Every move we have is physical, so that's basically +4 crit chance for all of our physical moves, which is huge. Mr. Fantastic for the crit damage and the crafting discount. Until I get my perfect gear, I'll probably have him on. Let's see. Wolverine for the brutal strike chance. That's awesome for endgame. And then for the damage to bleeding targets, since we're using the Blossom of Death, we're going to gain the 4% more damage to bleeding targets through X23. Now, very quickly, I will go over the Omega system. Starting under Human Augmentation, this is where a lot of our damage is coming from. We're doing 30 points into Deathlock, 10 points into Reaver, 5 points into Super Soldier. These two down here were just kind of a point dump. They're really cheap and they gain a lot of survivability. So these two are good for like health regen, max health, things like that. Let's see. Under Psionics, I did 10 points into Melt Face. Clairsentience was just a prerequisite. Under Molecular Adjustment, I did +5 into Exogenesis. Zerogenesis, sorry. Terrigen Crystals was just a prerequisite. Neural Enhancement, I did 15 points in Neural Robotics and 10 points in a Tactical Neural Implant. And this was just prerequisite for that. None under Attunement. Interstellar Exploration, 20 points into Hala, 30 points into Caranthra. Those are both really good for physical and just trash clear. There was none under Special Weapons. Under Mutation, I did 10 points into Frenzy, just tons of crit damage rating for really cheap, actually. Psylocke would be a really good place to put at least 1 point. Let's see. I did 9 points into Warpath. Angel was just a prerequisite for that. This is really good for in-game damage. Under Radioactive Origins, 5 points into Harpy. This is really good for people that don't have a lot of Omega points to start out with. Spin Tech, 10 points. It's pretty much a staple of any build. Under Nanotech, that's about the only skill I put points into in that one. And again, after you're done with those, if you still have points left over, just dump them in here or something like that. Or you could go the route of leveling up the armor. Was it Mandroid armor or something? Yeah, this one's good. Advanced Mandroid armor. This gives you lots of defense and melee power damage, so that's really good. But this is a ton of points to get into that skill, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, so that's everything that has to do with the build. If you want to take off now, I understand. If you want to keep joining me, I want to show you guys how fast she can do a one-shot Axis run and how fast her skills can take out those Hulkbusters that are usually really pesky. And I want to show you a couple of my shortcuts. So for all of you that are still with me right now, if you want to keep going with me, I'll show you some of my secrets. So this will be like a one-shot Axis guide with Elektra. Hopefully I'm selling this enough to you so you don't leave the video. Let's see. Terminals, one shot. I already did it. One shot to Axis. But if you need to farm Red Skull or Madam Hydra, this is the way I would do it. Okay, especially with Elektra. This is fucking tits. Tits McGee here. Okay, so you start out. You got to talk to Maria Hill. Okay, so normally you go up top over here on the ladder. You would go over here, go up this ladder, right? Okay, we'll try this instead. Come over here to this very edge of the ice, and then click like almost up here on the far left, or right there. You can see you can jump right up to here to this ice, teleport forward a couple times, and you're already at Agent Wu. Just make sure you move around a little bit so you get all those Hydra Brawlers to spawn in. Now we're gonna cut a swath. And what I like to do, like I said, when I'm doing cut a swath, is to just keep dashing because you'll get all these guys marked while you're doing this. Okay. So now we gotta talk to Wu. We gotta go kill these two dudes. Hey, we lucked out. They're both up top. So you can see how fast I killed that guy because he was marked. Alright, so all we gotta do on these guys that aren't bosses is mark them and then kill them. That's it. This dude will probably come live. There's the little orb I was talking about. So we are already ready to go to Madam Hydra wave. If I could just find this damn shelf here, you can teleport right down. Already at Madam Hydra. Hopefully we get a Kiss of the Viper or something like that. Save my ass the trouble of having to like farm her much more. So we're gonna hit her with all this. Hit her with the steroid buff and then a signature. Crash down. Alright. She dropped the unique. Let's hope it's the Kiss of the Viper. So now we're just teleporting around with cut a swath, picking up our shit. I don't have any of my accommodations because I already got them earlier. But any of these guys that are stubborn, as long as they're marked, you just press F and they poof, they're gone. Like that guy, he's gone. Alright. So you can see my general tactic for trash clearing is just teleporting around while holding down cut a swath. You almost don't even need to do any other move unless the guy's really stubborn, and then you can either vaporize him, or if it's a boss, then you can start going into the other like into the other skill rotations. But you'll see here these Hulkbusters, which normally are such a pain in the ass, how quickly you can dispatch them with her pokey and dead. So she's already past this Hulkbuster. So basically all I did right there, like I said before, is you dash in, poke them one time with like the left click, and then just press F button and they're gone. So all those Scarlet Witches out there that are used to just vaporizing those dudes, we just got the upper hand on them because our skill is only an 8-second cooldown. That far surpasses the cooldown of their signature, which can vaporize them also. So we just got a little bit of a comeback on all of them. Where the fuck am I going? It's up here. Okay. So dash in, poke, and gone. And we're uploading our Facebook picture already. Now we're coming up here. Make sure you're dashing right past them. Just go ahead and jump the stairs twice, and we're at Red Skull. So, as I said, her movement ability in this game is fucking insane. So now we're going to try to dump all of our DPS on Red Skull right away. We're going to get him marked. We're going to hit him with the bleed. We're going to hit him with the signature. Now we're going to hit him with that. Now we're going to hit him with the ultimate. See if we can get him before he shields up. Okay, we didn't. But that's okay. Because all we got to do to get him out of the shield is come over here, poke this dude. He's gone. Come back over. Fuck him up some more. Alright, he popped another shield. I like doing this because I get to show off the insta-kill. Come over, poke, and dead. We'll do signature, see if we can do some more damage on him. Okay, so dashing, poke, dead. Hit him with the steroid buff. Alrighty. What the fuck? Does that thing open? That was weird. Anyways. So that, guys, is how I farm right now, at least, since the introduction of Elektra. She's obviously got her bow staff below her feet because that's fucked up still. But I'm going to end the video right there, guys. I hope you're enjoying Elektra as much as I am. My build is getting me through some of the in-game content. Now, it might not be the best time to kill, might not have the best in slot artifacts, whatever, but I had them readily available. They're working great on her. Just something to think about, that if you look at one of those builds in Marvel Heroes Info, they're really, really high-end with like perfect gear and shit. You can make Elektra work with gear that's a little bit subpar, and she's still very strong. And this move alone right here behind you will probably get you through the Cosmic Trial or any other really hard content. As long as the guy's not marked boss or mini boss, you can fuck people up. So, just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Hopefully they don't patch this shit since I just, gave it out to you guys. But, I want to be fair to all my loyal fans. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like button, thumbs up, all that bullshit. I'm not going to sell myself too much more. Subscribe if you're not. For all those who have joined recently, thank you for being a fan. Hopefully I bring you guys some more quality content. And then if you guys have any suggestions on who you want to see a new build for or whatever, leave that in the comments below. I'd be happy to oblige. See you guys next time. Peace.